In the annals of American jurisprudence, two landmark doctrines have profoundly influenced the balance of power among the branches of government: Marbury versus Madison and the Chevron Doctrine. The former established the judiciary's authority to interpret the Constitution, while the latter delineated the extent to which courts defer to administrative agencies. Understanding these doctrines and their evolution is crucial to comprehending the current legal landscape. Let's dive into it. In 1803, the United States Supreme Court, under Chief Justice John Marshall, delivered a seminal decision in Marbury versus Madison. The case arose from the political transition between President John Adams and President Thomas Jefferson. In the final hours of his presidency, Adams appointed several justices of the peace, including William Marbury. These midnight appointments, as they came to be known, were an attempt to secure Federalist influence within the judiciary, even as the reins of power shifted. However, the new administration, led by Jefferson, withheld the delivery of these commissions. Madison, following Jefferson's directive, refused to deliver Marbury's commission, effectively denying him the position. Marbury, feeling unjustly denied, turned to the Supreme Court, invoking a provision of the Judiciary Act of 1789 to compel Madison to act. A question of power. The stage was set for a showdown. Chief Justice John Marshall, a staunch Federalist, faced a dilemma. He could rule in favor of Marbury, upholding the Judiciary Act and asserting the court's authority. However, such a move risked defiance from Jefferson and the Democratic Republicans, potentially igniting a constitutional crisis. Marshall, a master strategist, chose a different path. He recognized the precarious position of the judiciary, a branch of government lacking the executive's enforcement power or the legislature's popular mandate. He understood that a direct confrontation with the president could weaken the court's standing. The weight of the gavel. In a stroke of judicial brilliance, Marshall penned a decision that transcended the immediate dispute. He declared that while Marbury had a right to his commission, the section of the Judiciary Act granting the Supreme Court the power to issue such a writ was unconstitutional. It violated the principle of separation of powers enshrined in the Constitution. With this landmark ruling, Marshall established the principle of judicial review. He declared that the Supreme Court had the power to review laws passed by Congress and actions taken by the executive branch, and to invalidate those that conflicted with the Constitution. A new power emerges. The impact of Marbury versus Madison was profound. It redefined the balance of power within the American government. No longer was the Supreme Court merely an interpreter of the law. It became the ultimate arbiter of its constitutionality. The principle of judicial review, born from this case, has served as a cornerstone of American democracy ever since. It has ensured that the Constitution remains a living, breathing document, capable of meeting the challenges of a changing world. Fast forward to 1984, the Supreme Court's decision in Chevron USA, Inc. versus Natural Resources Defense Council, Inc. introduced a doctrine that would shape administrative law for decades. The Chevron Doctrine established a two-step process for courts reviewing federal agencies' interpretations of statutes. Step 1. Determine whether the statute's language is clear regarding the specific issue. If Congress's intent is unambiguous, that intent must be followed. Step 2. If the statute is ambiguous, assess whether the agency's interpretation is reasonable. If it is, courts should defer to the agency's expertise. This framework recognized that agencies possess specialized expertise and are better equipped to handle complex regulatory matters. Consequently, courts often deferred to agencies' reasonable interpretations, even if they might have preferred a different reading. The Chevron Doctrine became a bedrock principle, guiding judicial review of administrative actions and reinforcing the separation of powers by delineating the roles of the legislative, executive, and judicial branches. In a landmark decision on June 28, 2024, the Supreme Court overturned the Chevron Doctrine in Loper Bright Enterprises versus Raimondo. The case involved a challenge by commercial fishing companies against a regulation requiring them to fund federal observers on their vessels. The companies argued that the statute did not authorize such a mandate. The lower courts, applying the Chevron framework, had deferred to the agency's interpretation. However, the Supreme Court, in a 6-3 decision, held that it's the judiciary's role to interpret laws, not administrative agencies, thereby overruling the Chevron precedent. This decision marks a significant shift in administrative law, curtailing the power of federal agencies, and reasserting the judiciary's role in interpreting statutes. The court emphasized that allowing agencies to determine the scope of their own authority undermines the separation of powers and accountability. Critics argue that this could lead to increased litigation and regulatory uncertainty, as courts may now face a deluge of cases challenging agency interpretations without the Chevron framework to guide them. The overruling of the Chevron Doctrine has profound implications for the administrative state. Agencies may face greater scrutiny from courts, potentially hindering their ability to implement and enforce regulations efficiently. This shift could affect a wide range of sectors, from environmental protection to financial regulation, where agencies have traditionally played pivotal roles. Moreover, this change underscores the dynamic nature of legal doctrines and the enduring impact of landmark decisions, like Marbury versus Madison, which continue to influence the balance of power in American government. As we navigate this evolving legal landscape, it is crucial to stay informed about these developments and engage in discussions about their broader societal implications. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of pivotal legal doctrines and their contemporary relevance. If you found this discussion insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more content on landmark legal decisions and their impact on our society. Don't forget to turn on post notifications to stay updated on our latest videos. We welcome your thoughts and questions in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious and informed.